We are now live. You are now live. Greetings. Hello, dear Deb. Hello, dear
Hi.
listeners. Hi.
I love how Moira just says, "Now you'll see the counting down." I'm like, no, I don't.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, I do.
There it is. It's right there.
I'm here.
Welcome, welcome. Here we are with another one of our fun debunking myths conversations, which are kind of just a little snapshot of what we chit chat about on our deliciously motivated mindset episodes.
Yes. And you get to see us in real person.
I know.
Well, sort of real person. You can poke me, I'm real. Yeah, that's the one.
So if
Well,
you have listened to any of our podcasts, we always say, "Oh, this is a goodie," but I don't know about you, but I think this is a goodie that we're going to talk about today.
I don't know how we can cram this in this time frame, but we'll give it a crack.
We will.
Actually, where does that saying come from? We'll give it a crack, Nigel.
I don't know. I'm not entirely familiar with that one. We'll give it a go. We'll give it our best.
It's definitely the one. So, Maureen, share with us what we're talking about today.
So what we're going to talk about is the myths around masculine and feminine energy to get things done, to be successful, to get ahead, maybe in your career or at work or at home. And just in our conversations, we've kind of come across different aspects and ideas. And so we just thought, let's open this one up. And this may end up needing to be a full podcast episode as well, just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case. So where do you want to start with this one? What would you say to open the door on this one?
It shites me off. Is that what I want to say? It shites me off. So for me, it's, look, masculine is what I've been brought up to believe you need in your business brain. Your work brain, your get shite done brain is your masculine brain. And if you want to pull on the emotions, or have people fall in love with you, you need the feminine brain. So if you want sympathy, is the feminine brain. And as I say that, I go, my gosh, my poor parents who brought this belief up that I'm holding on to for so long. Now I know that's not, the more I'm aware, the more I know that's not how it's done. But still, society has that label, I believe.
So wouldn't you think that part of what causes the issue is that it's not being embraced, that we need both? It's not a one or the other, right?
I don't think I was ever told. Yes. I don't think I was ever. Yeah. I don't think I was ever told that you could have masculine and feminine energy. I don't believe I was. I don't recall. Well, I mean, I'm sure I probably was. I just closed off to that. Probably put a masculine side on and closed off, or feminine side and closed off. But I think I just didn't hear that. But absolutely, you do need both to get through anything in life.
Mm-hmm. And like, for me, I feel like it's a dance. And to your point, maybe we weren't given enough education of, the masculine does this and the feminine does this, but guess what? We all have masculine and feminine within us. And it's to our benefit to cultivate both essences and bring them into balance within ourselves in order to know when is it time to strive, to push forward, to get things done, and when is it time to sit back and receive and be the one who nurtures or who draws in, right?
Yes. Are people still educated that you only have to have one side? Like, please, people, let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you, because I think there is.
Or your old myth.
Yeah. the old myth of gotta set goals, gotta get things done, gotta be the boss, gotta be the performer, right? Action taker. It's all about action taking, actually. Is the masculine aspect is truly about action taking, whereas the feminine energy is knowing when it's time to rest and to reflect and to allow your heart energy to speak, right?
Yeah, this actually just came up with a conversation with my daughter last night. And if anyone knows my daughter, don't tell her I told this story.
Okay, so, secret safe with us.
Yeah, so she had a gentleman male who she was with, and he got her into the car and he opened the car door and put her in the car. That sounds quite dodgy. Opened the car door and put her in the car, carried her into the car. Anyway, let her get in the car. And then he shut the door and he stood by the car door, while a rough person walked past. And my daughter was like, would you just get in the car? It's cold. Get in the car and start the car and start the car. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then she was like, oh my gosh, that's like you're here to protect me. I said, well, actually, what you do is you get in the car and you lock the door and you don't have to be protected, Sophie. That's easy. She's like, I didn't think that, but I was grumpy with him because he wasn't in the car, turning the car on for her. And I said, oh, that's quite a masculine thing to do, but it's all old-fashioned.
Right.
So
being the protector.
Yeah. And then it opened up. We actually had this conversation last night. We opened up the whole thing about old-fashioned society, paying for a meal, opening the car door, all those in my philosophy, granddad type things that it's just old-fashioned stuff. But it is that whole masculine and feminine energy. And then Sophie said, well, I didn't know that's what he was doing, but if that had happened, if he got beaten up, I probably wouldn't have got out of the car. I said, well, you would have, knowing who she would have. But she was like, well, that was just, and she was like, well, this is just stupid. Why did he do that? And I'm like, this is what they do. This is what some people do, and it's what he's been brought up to do. And she was like, why don't you just get in the car? And I'm like, well, why don't you just lock the door? So it's quite an interesting one. And she says, oh, I'm going to need to talk to my friends about it. Please, if anyone's here, don't tell my daughter I said all this. But it actually became quite an interesting topic for her to talk about because she hadn't thought about that. She's 20, coming up 21 this year. So I guess those old-fashioned values of opening the car door and those things she's not used to having, I would say. And even my era, it's not as much now. I mean, I love somebody opening the car door for me. I have no problem. I do love those old-fashioned things. But that's a masculine thing over a feminine thing.
But the thing that I'm feeling into as you're describing that is that I think that as we become aware of what is a masculine trait, like the protector, the defender, the chivalrous one, holds the door open. But it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a man, does it?
No.
Nor does it have to be that the woman expects it or needs it. But it's about accessing those traits and being willing to play both roles, right? I'll hold the door open for somebody, but I still like having it held open for me. So it's to just witness. Like there are times where it's nice to have somebody saying, "Oh, I'll stand behind me because I'm going to look after you." It can never be an all or nothing, right? So in what you're sharing there in Sophie's story is it doesn't always have to be that way, right? Just so long as you're aware which one are you choosing, right?
Yeah, and see, it's that chivalry thing because I was just thinking I went out for dinner one night with Dr. John DeMartini, who I used to event manage, and he sat in a certain place. I said, oh, I'll sit here. And he said, no, you'll sit there. And I was like, tell me where to sit.
Don't tell Deb where to sit.
And I sat down reluctantly. And then I asked him, I said, why do I have to sit here? Mm-hmm. And he said, it's because I can be the protector of you for the people. I can see the people coming in the room and I can be, and I went, oh, you the protector. Now, I was a little bit like, but I'm employed by you type thing to look after you. Why are you the protector? But it was a male, and it was that whole,
Right.
and he's very gentlemanlike, holds the door open, and
Mhm.
so it was a little bit of a giggle. I was like, why are you the protector? Like, it's my job to be the
Right.
protector. But then
Right.
I noticed then when we've gone out for dinner, in other times we've swapped that role, and it just,
Yeah.
and it's just educated me on even where you sit at the dinner table. If you're in a restaurant, who's the protector, which is the
Who's
masculine.
sitting on the lookout post?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's a really good comment. But like you say, it's by having the awareness that you can actually play both roles. You could be the protected or the protector, but and that's what I'm saying for all of us to really get in touch with our own unique gifts and our own inner guidance, is to actually be able to recognize where is the action taker, the protector within me, and where is the aspect of me that needs to sit and be still and be protected or be nourished. Because when we can become more introspective and more aware of that, I think that would serve everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even being aware of that, being aware, but actually being okay.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Well said. Yeah.
Like being okay and just going, okay, I'm going to open the door. Just, I mean, a small thing. I'm going to open the door for them, or
Mhm.
I'm not. Like, it's okay either way. And
Either way, yeah.
just because 1 minute you're masculine, the next minute you can jump into that feminine. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just that specifically, like in what we're discussing here, is that the masculine is the doer and the feminine is the receptive. And so just breaking everything down and realizing that we can actually dance and walk with both, right?
Yeah, and if you don't want to label it masculine or feminine, don't. Just be you. Just be you and be okay with what you do, masculine or
Absolutely.
feminine. But just, you don't have to label it anything. But I know when I started labeling, oh, that's the feminine or that's the masculine, it just made so much more sense, and it
Yeah.
allowed me to go, oh, that makes sense. That, because human behavior, which you and I, well, built
Both.
our business around, yeah, and love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just opens up that different channel to a different sense of, oh, I get it now. I get it.
And to me, I think this awareness helps us sit in harmony within ourselves, which then can actually ripple out to all those around us, right?
Mm. Well, it just opens up a whole channel of conversation, and to know
Mhm.
that one act from the masculine the other night has opened up a conversation with my daughter and me, who's opened up this here, made people
Yeah.
think, who's opened up potentially others when we talk about it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
but if you want to open the car door for me, people, and I'm around, well, clearly you need to be around, then I'm all for it. I have no problem. I have no problem. And
I
I don't see that as masculine and feminine. I see that as my morals growing up. But
Right,
it is definitely a more masculine trait.
right. It is. But I think it's being not only having the awareness of these traits, whether you want to call it masculine or feminine, I think it's really important not to get overstuck to one way. And this is what we're talking about. Don't always be the one that has to have the door open for them every single time.
Mm.
But then also
And white.
but do you see what I'm saying, is that sometimes we have to be the giver or the doer or the action taker, whereas other times we do much more powerful service when we do receive and go soft and be open to um, receiving and taking, right? That's basically what it is.
Yeah, and I guess for my clients, I have the masculine and I have the feminine. I
Yeah.
have the ones who who come in and they want strategy. And
Yeah.
to me, that's masculine. And then I've
Mm.
got the ones who are broken or just want the next level up in their emotion or whatever it is, and that's the feminine. Now, if you were to say, Deborah, do you have more male or female clients? I have an equal amount. So I
Mhm.
have the masculine and the feminine. It just
Right.
depends on male, female, and what they come for. Like, we've all got the same stuff, but it depends if it's strategy, which is thingy. And it's okay to be a male and tap into your emotions. And it's okay to be a
Absolutely.
female and get shite done.
Tap into your action taker. Absolutely. And
Mm.
that is, so to me, that's the work that I do, regardless if it's a man or a woman that's coming to me, is that I'm really working to access, acknowledge, and witness the masculine and feminine within each one of us, and then marry it within us, right? To actually know, when is it time to get shit done, like Deb says, and when is it time to slow down, to be more nurturing, and accessing your inner wisdom. So that's what we wanted to chat about. Like I said, I think we could keep riffing about this one for quite a long time.
Fancy that. Fancy that.
Fancy that.
I would love to go down the path of, I'd love to do a podcast. If you love a podcast on this, let us know,
Yeah, let us know.
because I would love to definitely go down the podcast of owning your masculine and owning your feminine, and not getting not allowing others to label you and getting stuck in that box. And
Yeah.
just so much we can talk about. There's image, there's money, there's business, there's
Mhm.
family, there's single parents, there's no parents, well, not no parents, being no parent type thing, adult being no parent. There's so much that we can go down this path on. But I would love to know if people could just comment if they would like to have a podcast on that.
Mhm.
And right now, do they love their masculine or feminine, or are they finding one way is overtaking another way, or like throw some.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'd love to hear what is our listeners' recognition of masculine and feminine within them, and do they feel that they can equally embody both aspects of themselves?
Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun.
Oh, it's
As
good.
always, it is a goodie. We're here for anybody who needs a little bit of help unpacking or getting in alignment with their own motivation. We can both be reached through this group.
Yes, we can. We've got our settings now that we know when people message us.
Yeah, hopefully. So thank you very much, Deb. Thank you to our listeners, and we'll be back here with you next month.
Yay! Thank you very much. Bless you
Bye.
all. Bye.
Bye.